Yo, what's up, everybody? So if you've made it this far, then congratulations, you're pretty much done. What I gave you is a solid plan that will help you with ICT mentorship course. Okay, but it's very important that you watch the ICT mentorship, because without that, you're not going to understand the concepts that I'm going super fast on. However, if you do watch it, you'll right away understand exactly what pretty much I did, which was create a little mini plan. Very simple to follow, very simple to apply, and you can literally just begin applying it as soon as tomorrow. And like I said, it will be slow, but as long as you apply this concept, this little mini solid plan, I guarantee you that definitely you're gonna be looking for A-type setups. Okay, and so just keep that in mind. So this is the last piece of the puzzle, and this is one thing that ICT mentions, which is to only trade during news times. Because during news times, that is when liquidity pools begin to get taken out. And when liquidity pools get taken, you want to trade on the opposite side of that. Okay? And when you put yourself on the opposite side of that, you can begin to look for that specific entry technique that I just showed you guys, or obviously it's the same one that ICT talks about. It's just mine's a little bit more specific. You guys don't have to question whether or not that is displacement. All you need is those three candles or less, and that's pretty much it that I mentioned in that little mini training. There's no question about that. But the important part is that you need to look for that during these news time zones. And so, for example, if you are a London trader, personally, I would, if I were you, I would do London and New York. I wouldn't do Asia session, because that you actually do have to know a little bit of the London close and New York close, because that's usually what Asia session goes after. Which I'm not gonna go after that now because you don't need to. I'm still not 100% sure on those, as I have not tested that specific time zone. However, if all you trade is London time zone and New York time zone, which is when the most volume in the market is located at, that's all you really need. So if you are a London trader, then obviously you'll want to go to Forex Factory and set the time zone to Eastern time, or whatever your time zone is, and all you have to do is watch the times when there is red and orange times. Okay, if you see these are yellow, I actually remember these used to be like an orange and red, and then now they're yellow. But you can test these out and see how the market takes out liquidity pools. But usually by then it's these 12, it's pretty much these red ones and orange ones that really do the most of the damage, and by then you've already placed a trade. So anyways, same thing here. This is New York time session for me. So like I don't even have to be awake at 8 a.m. Eastern, right? All I have to do is come in, an hour before this particular news, do my analysis, get my bias done, which I usually have my bias done the night before, or I draw my horizontal lines like how I showed you guys. And that's it. I wait for this particular time, for this particular news time. And then I see what the market does. Does it take out a liquidity pool? And if so, then I look for what? The entry strategy, the entry technique. And that's it. That's all you got to do. Then I wait for the 10 a.m. Eastern, right? This is for new home sales and for Richmond manufacturing. Both of these are orange, so I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to these. I will get a pop-up on my desktop, and it'll show when this time's happening. Okay. Now, another thing to keep in mind is I don't take the trade right away. I usually like to wait at least 10 minutes after, and then I will place my trade. The reason why is because if you try to do something right away, which you could, like on the 1 minute time zone, I really don't, but I usually just place all my trades on the 5 minute, which I can create a video on that. Just let me know if you guys would like me to. It's really up to you. However, like I said, since we're waiting for news, spreads do increase. And what you want to do is, the reason why you want to give those 10-minute wait is because you want to wait and see what the market does. Okay, you want the algorithm to pretty much show its hands, and we're waiting to see if there's a setup that happens after the news. So that's really what we're doing. We're waiting for the market to show us its hand. And then if there's the setup, the entry technique that ICT teaches, then that's when you take the trade. Okay? Once you have all those little requirements, then holy smokes, you have yourself an amazing, profitable system. Now that you know this, it doesn't mean that you're going to go on here and kill it right away. I mean, for those of you that really grasp this and really understand this, you probably will kill it if you've kind of been struggling and you just needed this little nudge, this extra piece of information. But for those of you that don't have that yet, it will take a little bit of time to get used to it. Okay? So don't give up. Take notes, as how I showed in the entry techniques and how as ICT teaches. Follow these rules. Do not try to trade. Even if you see the setup, during a moment when there's no news, do not take it. There's no need for that. There's actually a video I did where there was no news, there was a perfectly good setup, and I didn't take it. Why? Because there was no news. That was not my requirement. There was no news that, or there was no news, there was no reason for the market to take out a liquidity pool. And so because of that, there was just no strength in the market to go in my direction. And instead of taking the trade, I didn't. And that trade resulted into a loss. And that, if you guys want to go back to it, that's actually the $CAD 816 date is where I go over that. Where there was just no news event, but there was a perfectly good setup. But because there was no news event, I didn't take the trade. And so the only time frame that I give this in order for me to take a trade is an hour to an hour and a half. That's it. Anything that is an hour and a half and above, I just don't do anything. So after this, 6:45 a.m., I wait an hour and a half. So that's 7:45, almost 8:15 a.m. my time. For this, 7 a.m. So once this news happens, I wait at least an hour. Because by 7 a.m., that's 10 a.m. Eastern time. By 11 a.m. Eastern time, I'm usually just ready to throw in the towel. That's how I explain my analysis videos, and I'm pretty much done. Alright? So, now, obviously this video went in a little bit of a ranting and whatnot, but I gave you some really good information. And, same as ICT, if you guys are still here listening, then you guys are the ones that are, going to do really good if you're taking notes. So, keep that in mind. And anyways, I'm cutting this video really short because, once again, we're trying to push it through, get you guys a solid plan, and get you out and going. So, this is my contribution to you guys in the trading community, especially for those that have been super, super wanting this, but sometimes it feels out of reach. Definitely don't give up, okay? Watch ICT mentorship and then come back to this if you need to. Alright guys, take care.